popsicles. Does it say Super Gooper? This is really cool, the physics. Hello and welcome to Tea Time with Torloth. Today I did something completely wacko and hit surprise me on Game Pass and saw what came up and just played it. So today's game is an indie darling from the Voxel Agents called The Gardens Between. But first, where I start with The Gardens Between, this is a very interesting game. It is a 3-button puzzle game. Forward time, reverse time, and interact. That's your 3 buttons. There's no more. No mouse support. I did play this on PC, so maybe you have a different experience on Switch, where apparently it has touchscreen support. I just looked it up on the Switch eShop just to see if it was there. So all footage you're seeing is from the PC version with the resolution set to 1440p, and the video will be downscaled to 1080p because there's no 1440p YouTube option. I can't even render out a video at 1440p. I talked briefly about the mechanics. Well, I mentioned how the controls are, but I'm going to talk briefly about the mechanics. So you have 2 characters on the screen, and you have to get them and the lantern to the end of the level. Now the lantern needs to be lit. To light the lantern, you need to take the light from a sunflower. I'm going to call it a sunflower because it produces like a little orb of light. There's also a black hole flower that eats light. Sometimes you need to use that to solve puzzles throughout levels, and sometimes you just have to figure out how to get the lantern around it. This is a single solution puzzle game, just so people know. This isn't one of the ones where you can come up with multiple ways to beat the same puzzle or the same challenge. It's all the same. This game is pretty short. Runtime's probably around 3 to 4 hours, depending how much you struggle with the puzzles that come up. I did find the control with the keyboard, because it's pretty much like a linear switch, right? Like it's on or it's off. It's binary. With a control stick, you'd probably have a certain level of granularity in your time moving abilities, which might help. And that might have been why I was a little bit finicky, and by the last few puzzles were a little bit finicky, and I didn't care for them. I liked this game a decent amount until the last 2 levels, where they made me feel stupid. Made me feel stupid because they changed what I was looking for. Well, the second last level changed what I was looking for, and it was the first time they'd ever done anything like that. It does a very poor job of explaining to the player what they're looking for. Usually, there's a flower somewhere. That's like the only way you can get the light orbs is from the flowers. In the second last level, that is not the case. I think the game was good 90% of the way through. I think the last levels do a very poor job of capping off the experience in a relaxing and engaging way. I'm not a big fan of puzzle games to begin with. So maybe I'm not the right person for this, or maybe I'm the right person to ask what's wrong with it or what I didn't like. I was determined at one point, and I got upset with the game. On the last puzzle, when I knew the solution to what I needed to do, and it irked me when my brother came, sat down, and did exactly what I was trying to do and got it to work. So I don't know if there's like a trigger bug or something. This game does have good visuals and ambient music, for better or worse, Ambient music can be amazing or it can be really detrimental. I think in this case it skews more towards detrimental. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. But that's me, and maybe you love this soundtrack, and I don't think it's that many songs. Because I kind of got annoyed with it at one point, and decided to turn on some Sailor Moon music. Because that's how I roll. I have a love-hate relationship with indie titles, and their interesting and unorthodox, let's call it, decisions in game design. Sometimes they make something that's absolutely fantastic, and sometimes you make Untitled Goose Game where I don't understand the appeal of actually playing the game as much as I had fun just looking at the memes. I don't think The Gardens Between is a bad game, just it's out of my wheelhouse a bit. I like twitchier puzzle games, and this is not one of those. If you like slower paced, take your time puzzle games, this is a good one. It doesn't have failure states, and the one thing that annoyed me a little bit was there's no just restart the level option. With that said, you could do worse. You know where to find me. Links in the description below. Mixer on Sunday, Twitter all the time, and comment sections that I read whenever I get a comment. Don't spam it or I'm gonna ignore comments. And until next time, matane!